All right, let's talk about some of the cost savings of making your own loops chain. Where we at? Um, Looks like, unless you want to get off-brand chain, and some of these different brands are, okay, but I think it's, bench standard. I mean, obviously, steel chains silly expensive, even at the dealer. Sometimes if you got a good relationship with your dealer, but let's just use Oregon. You can shop this around. You might be able to get it for a little cheaper than that. But I want to say like, 325 to 350 delivered. So let's talk about how much you get for 3/8 chain. That's going to be 1,640 drive lengths. So that puts you at $2, 21 and a third cents per drive length. So a 20-inch chain, 72 drive length would cost you $15.36, $17.89, and $22.37 for a 32-inch chain. So you get the gist of it. Yeah, there's definitely some cost savings there. But you're also going to have some equipment to go with that. All right, first thing you're going to need is a breaker. All right, the breaker is just simply a punch. See if we can get in here with a little bit better light. And what that's going to do is push out the old rivet and cut the chain. And then a spinner, which is actually going to mushroom. When you buy a roll of chain, you get these these replaceable links to mend the chain back into a loop. All right, so on my table that I have set up here, I've got a pin down here at the end, and then along the way, I've got places where I've marked in here, so, from here down to there is 72 drive lengths. So that way, you count it off twice, mark your table, and then, you can make these common size loops easy without counting over and over and over again. And having a nice little designated table set up for this is really nice. So I'll show you how this works. Oh, one other thing, my roll of chain, just real simple. So I've just got a bearing right here with a dowel in the table. So this way, when I need to pull some off, it's like a little lazy Susan, and you're not fighting, trying to unravel your 100-foot roll. All right, so here we have, I need to keep this drive link right here. So we're gonna cut the chain right here. We're gonna break both of those rivets. So I use this marker right here is, gotta find something that's grease resistant, because all this chain is coated with a light film of oil, and this seems to hold up pretty nice. So let me put you in the tripod and show you a couple of points about what's important to do here. All right, so you want that in there, and what's really important when you're doing this, and this is a Chinese knockoff one, so there's a little bit of wiggling here, so I got to finesse this into just the right spot, but you want to be smack dab in the middle of the rivet. If you're off to one side, it's going to be hard to break, and you're going to damage your punch. These will break. That point, all right, right there in the middle, close as you can get. All right, so now you've broken the chain. Now it's time to mend the chain. So now we got our 20-inch loop, and let's bring in nice and tight right here. All right, so you've got those two open holes. You're gonna come in here. Now there's a hump in the bottom that stays in the bottom, and you'll see that's consistent with the rest of the straps. So that goes in there. And these are specific, you know, you've got different ones, you know, so this is 50 gauge chain. I couldn't use these links on 63 gauge chain. There's going to be a difference. So now that you've got this together, we'll take it over to the spinner and mushroom those rivets over, and poof, we've made a chain. All right, don't mind the messy shop. I got a lot of junk around here. So here's our loop. And on the back side there's a dimple. Here, let me bring you a little tighter. On the back side, this is actually what presses and puts tension on your link. So here we go. We'll load that into the back, put some pressure on it, and then crank on this. And I know about where I need to be, about right there. And I know that's, if you go too far past that, you'll pinch it and the chain won't move. You'll actually pinch the strap and the chassis of the chain together. So just tight enough and not too tight. You don't want it too loose either. And then just repeat that to the next one. Let's back this off so we can fit the back side of that in there, and just repeat. Just keep pressing, keep spinning, finish that off. And then there you go. Where are we at? There we are. One mended chain. All right, before we wrap this up, I just want to ask y'all to throw some comments out there. Let me know what you think about the video. Do a little like, share, subscribe thing. I really appreciate it. Let's talk about what you get when you get a roll of chain. All right, so you're going to get 100 feet of chain. You'll get a bag of tie straps that go with that particular size chain, and you'll get a stack of boxes so you can put them all back nice and neat. I would recommend not being cheap on the hand tools end of this. I don't have any personal experience with the aftermarket Chinese made ones. This old set right here is an old Oregon one made in Italy. They have served me very well. I've made a lot of chain with these. So let's take this back over here to the bench, and we'll cover a few small points and really tie it all together. Can you save money making your own chain loops? Absolutely. You can find relatively inexpensive loops of chain. I think the bright side of this is you can actually buy top shelf chain, whatever you prefer, and save money over what you're spending for it now. You're only, you know, you've got that upfront expense. You got a $350 roll of chain. You got $100 to $200 in spinner and breaker, new or used. So, you know, once you get past that, then you have chain on hand, and you can start saving $4 or $5 a loop or more. I don't know if I go down the road of really cheap rolls of chain and having, you know, average chain. I think you can still pinch a penny nowadays. That diesel's and fuel's high as a giraffe's ass. You know, if you're using a fair amount of chainsaw chain, go buy and invest. You know, for nothing else, you can avoid going to the dealership and they go, oh man, I'm sorry, we're out of 20-inch loops or 25-inch loops or 32-inch loops. You know, you can always just go make you one and be done with it. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed the content, and I hope this was a good reason to invest or not to invest if this doesn't work for you, doesn't fit your needs, and the expenses are too great. So anyway, thanks for watching, y'all. Appreciate everything.